to this computer. So we are going to talk a little bit about things that you can do in your business that will just stay focused and help you kind of like skyrocket your business no matter where it is at. So whether you're brand new and just starting out, or whether you've been doing this business for 10 years like I have, there's something that is called the Power Hour. How many people have heard of this before? Okay, so there's a handful of you. It's created by an amazing direct selling guru. Her name's Belinda Ellsworth. So if you ever have not heard of her, I highly recommend looking her up. She has fabulous YouTube videos. They're typically 15 minutes, like 5 to 15 minutes, depending kind of on the topic. But Power Hour is one of the things that I personally use a ton in my business. I've done it since I've started. Sometimes I have to refocus myself and remind myself to get back to it. So I kind of say it's my basics of my business. So a lot of you that know me know that we just recently built our own house. So we built this whole house ourselves from scratch for the last like 18 months of our lives. And so that was basically my full-time job. So I would love to say that I had 6 hours a day to work on my Pampered Chef, but I didn't. I basically had bits and pieces of the day, like I always call them stolen moments. So I had stolen moments of the day that I was able to laser focus on my business and still. My husband didn't work. He built the house. Like I paid all the bills for the last 2 years and I paid for everything. And that was just in being able to work my business by using kind of this Power Hour method. So it's all about making, and I always say this to recruits too. I'm like, I can teach you how to build a business in stolen moments of time, right? Because that's what we want people to be able to do. Not everybody wants this to be their full-time job. Lots of people are full-time parents, or they are full-time working, or they're whatever. They just want to be able to do this business in half an hour every single day, right? They don't have 4, 6, 8 hours to dedicate to this. So it's all about being laser focused and using this Power Hour method and then just multiplying it. So I always say start with 15-minute intervals. So whatever you're doing, do it in 15-minute intervals. So the first thing that I do in the morning after my kids have like gone to school and I'm starting my business is my host coaching. So you're going to like streamline it. So whether you're using Google Documents, whether you're using boards, whether you're using text replacement, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to streamline it and you're going to exclusively focus on that for 15 minutes. So you're going to interact with your hosts. You're going to talk to them about what's going on in their parties. So you want to take a look at their parties. You want to know how many people are in the group. You want to know kind of where your party's at. So I always start all of my parties on the exact same day. I don't start like one on Monday. Oh, somebody else said yes, I'll start that one on Wednesday. Oh, somebody else said yes, I'll start that one on Friday. I know some people do. Personally, that doesn't work for me. My brain doesn't work like that. I need everything to be like on the same day so that I can know where I'm at in my host coaching. I can know what posts I'm looking for in my parties, all that kind of stuff. So you want to take a quick browse through the parties. Don't fall down the scroll hole. Don't get sucked into Facebook Reels. You just want to look at every single party and see who's commenting on posts, see how many people are interacting, see how many people are in the group, and then do your host coaching accordingly. So we always want our hosts obviously to be interacting in the parties. So if you're noticing that your host kind of hasn't been in the party, maybe hasn't posted a game or posted an interactive post that day, the previous day kind of thing, you just want to send them a quick reminder about that. So that's kind of like a 15-minute blurb that I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to answer any other messages that have come in from my team. I'm not going to respond to anybody that's messaged me about a game in the party. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm exclusively going to focus on our hosts because our hosts are our number one probability for recruiting, right? And if you can't build a relationship with them, then your recruiting is going to be way down. And why do I say they're my number one recruiting possibility? Is one, they've chosen to host with me probably because they like me. Like they're not like, oh my goodness, that Stacy girl's a ding dong. I'm not going to host with her. They've already decided that I'm not too bad and they're going to host with me. And they already like Pampered Chef. Otherwise, they would not be hosting a party, right? So those are your first two reasons why your hosts are your highest probability for recruiting. Plus, you can get them parties. So you can be like, hey, I got you 3 parties. Let's get you signed up. 2 is booking. So the next 15 minutes, and it doesn't have to be back to back. It's just when you're doing it, you're doing nothing except that. So the next 15 minutes, and I would even say if your calendar is not as full as you want your calendar to be, do 2 separate 15 minutes of this. So I used to always, when I worked full time, this was on my lunch break. I would sit on my lunch break after I ate my food and I would do bookings, exclusively messaging for bookings. So whether I am going through an old party, whether I've posted something on my timeline like, hey, pick a number between 1 and 250. I am doing messaging. I am not even responding to the people that message me back. I am exclusively doing messaging for bookings. So you're laser focused on that one thing that you're doing for 15 minutes. So your second 15 minutes is going to be responding. So I have games in my parties. I'm sure everybody does that ask people to message me or ask people to engage with something, or I've done my booking messaging. So now I'm responding. So I'm responding to the messages that people are sending. I'm responding to the game prompts that people are sending me. So again, you're laser focused. You're not falling down the scroll hole. You're right. You set a 15-minute timer, and like literally, I will not let myself. My little reward is I get to play a game of Candy Crush after my 15 minutes of whatever it is that I'm supposed to do. I'm not allowed to do anything else except for that. So some ideas of things you can be doing is your host coaching, your social media presence. So spending 15 minutes where you are scrolling through Facebook and interacting on other people's posts, right? You're engaging with them. You're just commenting. Oh, there's a ton of grad pictures and stuff like that out right now. You're interacting with those people. You know, you're just getting people to it's changing your Facebook algorithms, kind of what it's doing, right? It gets people, different people showing up on your feeds. It makes you show up on their feeds because Facebook's like, oh, these people are interacting. They must like each other. Let's show them more of each other, right? So just little things, not just likes, but like, oh my goodness, your daughter's dress is beautiful. Oh, I can't believe he's that old already. Whatever, right? Like little things. Yes, exactly, Jenna. Be a human on social media. Don't be a creeper, right? So you want to be, yes, don't be creepy. But you want to just be somebody that's interacting and friends with people on Facebook. And also that way when they're like, oh, I need some Pampered Chef, you're the person that they think of, right? So creating something that's useful. Like think of things that are helpful to people. It doesn't always have to be about food related. It doesn't always have to be Pampered Chef related, just things that are useful. So bring value to people's lives on Facebook. So again, that's 15 minutes. So you're going to spend 15 minutes creating your humanity on Facebook, right? Bookings is a huge one. I will keep going back to that. If you do not have a calendar that you love, that you've got 4 parties a week or whatever it is that you want your business to look like, focus on 15 minutes of bookings on repeat, okay? Team building. So things that are engaging for your team, like whether you're looking for your first team member or whether you have 100 team members. Team building is another great one for 15 minutes. So creating engagement for your team so that they can use some of maybe the posts that you do and put them on their social media, creating, like I know Patty's got this with Honey. They've got such a great camaraderie on their team, right? Everybody's like interacting and commenting. That makes people want to be there, right?
Right.
Streamline your stuff. So like I said, Google Documents, boards, text replacement. So when I'm doing my host coaching, I'm not thinking of it every single day. I literally use a copy paste document from Google Documents, and I copy it and I send it to my host, and then I just change a few of the words to make it like to them, right? So batch tasks. So messaging, responding, games. So I do a lot of games in my parties, typically one a day or one every other day. That is getting people to message me, whether it's deal or no deal, whether it's Clue, whether it's, you know, find the avocado, whatever games it is. You want to be doing that in 15-minute intervals, right? So I don't want to feel like I need to be on Facebook 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on Facebook. I want to be able to put my phone down and go do other things. Like when we were building the house, I was up a ladder for 9 hours a day. I couldn't be on my phone. I would die. So you have to be able to be like, and people don't want to be on Facebook 24 hours a day either. They want to know that they can do this business and not have their phone attached to their hand all the time, right? So you want to be able to respond to posts. Like when I post a game, if people wait 8 hours for me to message them back, that's fine. They're not gonna die. They're totally I sit down and I do all my messages all at once, right? So we want people to know that we are duplicatable. So games is a big one. For me, even parties is a big one. So I will schedule my schedule that I want my first, second, and fourth week of the month to be busy. I will leave my third week open and not schedule any parties. I would way rather have 4 or 5 or 6 parties in a week than have one party every single week, right? Because I find I'm much more engaged on my Facebook. I know when my games are going in every single party. I know where I'm at with my host coaching. I know all those kinds of things if I do 2, 3, 4 parties in the same week. Like I would encourage people, if they only want to do 4 parties a month, do them all in the same week. You'll be much more interactive. You'll have better authenticity. Like you'll show up more for your parties doing them all in one week than doing one a week for 4 weeks in a row, because then you're sick of being on Facebook. You're sick of seeing your own party. Like you just aren't as engaged personally as if you did them all in one week. So the reason I do weeks 1, 2, and 4, so like for me, I would say this is week 4, is because then I'm starting my month strong. Like my parties that are starting this week. So I always set up my groups on Wednesday, start my parties on Friday, and my parties run from Friday to Friday. That way I'm running over into the next month. I always want my first round of parties running over and finishing in the first week of the month, because that way I'm starting the month strong and I'm often green by 5, if not by 10, right? So I want to have sales coming in, and then week 2 is a bonus week. Week 3, I always say, is kind of my adjuster. So if my month, my week 1 and 2 parties didn't go as good as I was hoping that they would go, it gives me time to hustle butt and get some more parties for week 3. And if I want week 4, right? And if my parties did go awesome, then my week 3, it gives me time to like work with my team, help them on their goals, all that kind of stuff, right? So help them get to where they're going without it being the very end of the month. And you're like, okay, like you've got 2 days left in the month and $1,000 left to go. What's the plan? Right? You've already addressed that the week before. You already know what the plan is, and you already are able to come back to them and be like, all right, Patty, so how did that mystery bags go, or how did whatever go, and you're able to have been talking about them, about that already, and it's not the very last week of the month. Personally, I would say drop the number of posts in your party. I have recently dropped the number of posts in my party to 5 posts a day. So I personally find that after COVID, people are sick of being on Facebook. They're tired of it being in our faces all the time. And for me, if I scroll back and I have a hard time finding a post, how do they feel? Right? So you really want to minimize the amount of posts what is your timeline for the posts? So I do early, like 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., because I find 6 a.m. people might scroll, like you're going to catch different people at different times of the day. So 6 a.m., you're getting your people that scroll before work. 9 a.m., break time, like 11, 11:30, 12, somewhere in there. You're getting people lunch break. And then I might do a 2 p.m. Otherwise, I do 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. because then you're getting your like late nighters, right? 7 p.m. kids have gone to bed. 7, they're getting it at 7:30 or 8. 9 p.m. is usually an interactive something from me. So then it gets people just like interacting, playing games because they're looking for something light before bedtime. So that's my typical thing. And I will usually try to do like in my posts, I'll put multiple things. So I want it to be like something engaging, recipes, tools, tips, and sometimes like I usually alternate every other day, one thing about bookings, and then the next day will be recruiting. So I'll alternate those two in my parties kind of thing. But I'll try to do lots of those things in one post. So I'll have something that's like a tip about how you can use the chopper for something that you might not normally use the chopper for, and then some recipes and other stuff like that all in one post so that it's like 10 pictures or 5 pictures. One of my favorite ones to do is like all these tools are under $30, and then I tell people to comment have or want. And so then I'll put like 10 or 15 pictures, but when they comment have or want, it breaks that picture out into its own post. Right? So by getting them to comment on the individual pictures, it kind of makes it like you posted more, but you really didn't, if that makes sense. So yeah, drop your number of posts. I always do a video. When you have a video, do you include that in a group post or do you post it separately shortly after? So I always do videos in their own posts. So I usually do 1 or 2 videos a day, and I typically try to make my own videos. However, going back to the bookings thing, if you don't have the number of bookings that you want on your calendar, do not waste your time with creating content. So yes, you want to be authentic and stuff like that, but like typically when I change my party, I change it like slowly over time. So like in January, I have my template or whatever. And then like 2 weeks into January, I might change 2 posts. And then 2 weeks later, I might change 2 more posts. I don't typically do like a whole big giant revamp. I just kind of slowly will try to change 1 or 2 posts every week or two. I'll be like, oh, okay, I really need to redo a video about this, or I really need to, because I mean, we have such great videos and such great stuff already on marketing imagery that I'd rather take that and like put my face on it and be like, hey, here's me, than waste an hour. Like creativity, Marketing Kitchen, yes. Creativity is not my forte. Like creating templates, I find to be one of my more difficult things with Pampered Chef for me personally. But of course, everybody's different. But for me, I'd rather like stick my face on a picture that's already professionally created. And then I'd rather have like videos of me, right? I'd rather have 1 video a day of me making whatever or talking about what my favorites are or whatever, and then use Marketing Kitchen pictures for the other posts kind of thing, with a few like pictures of my own personal cooking thrown in there. Like often it's not like my face isn't often in the pictures once, but I can show you guys through a Facebook part if you want. So we all know summer's coming. Summer's hard, right? So we definitely want to set ourselves up for success. So, you know, and many of us heard this at our leadership thing. We can have excuses or we can have results. So we need to kind of look at what are the stories that we're telling ourselves. Like when Ashley spoke, I was kind of like, like I am giving myself permission to not be where I want to be with my business because I'm building a house. You know what I mean? Like because I was building a house, I was like, oh, my plate's just like too full. I can't take on more. And I was giving myself permission to like think that way. So like kind of my challenge to you guys is like, what are you telling yourself? Like what permissions are you giving yourself to not be where you want to be in your business? Because we all have goals. We all have ideas of where we want to be, whether it's, you know, we want to achieve the second level of the trip or the first level of the trip or whatever it is. And now it's like, oh, you know, it's almost June and I'm not where I wanted to be. And then we're like, but that's okay because I've had this stuff happen. So like I kind of challenge you guys to look at that and like question yourselves, like, what excuses am I making for myself, or what permissions am I giving myself that's like hindering my business? You know what I mean? So kind of take a look at that, because you can do this power hour. Like I would challenge everybody here and everybody that's watching at home later to do this power hour, commit to doing it till June 15th. If you do it at least once a day, and you don't have to do an hour all at once, like I said, but 15-minute intervals. So 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes on your lunch break, 15 minutes in your car before you drive home from work when your husband won't even know that you're missing yet. You know, 15 minutes when the kids are in bed, whatever it is, 4 15-minute intervals, or if you have like 15 minutes, half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, 1 hour, commit to doing that till June 15th. And see what changes in your business. Now, if you're looking to like promote, you're looking to hit excellence, you're looking to do those kinds of things, make it 3 hours. It doesn't have to be just an hour, right? Laser focus yourself for 3 45-minute intervals or 3 1-hour intervals, right? Put your classical music on, put your headphones on, whatever it is that you need to do, and just commit to doing that for yourself, for your business, right? So you have to make the time. This is your business. Nobody's going to make the time for you, right? Nobody's going to come in and do the work for you. Like the benefit of this business is like we get all the things handed to us, but when it comes down to it, it's still our business. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Short and sweet. Questions. I love questions. Ask me questions. And unmute, just ask. Don't make me read.
Have you been able to go live in your groups lately?
I am able to again. It went away for a while. I don't know why it went away. And then now it's back, so I can go live again. So that's good. Yeah.
And you didn't change any of your settings?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Hopefully I'll get mine back.
Yeah, and like give yourself rewards too. Like I am not allowed to burn a candle unless I'm working on my business. That's one of my little like things, right? So I love smelly candles, but I'm not allowed to burn them unless I'm working on my business. Right? Just little rewards. It doesn't have to be big things, right? Like I get an ice cream if I get 4 bookings for next week. Right? But yeah, it's all about laser focus. And if you really want to accelerate your business, like we heard Krista talk about, she's planning on doing it for 3 months, right? Commit to doing it for a month, commit to doing it for 2 months, whatever it is that you're looking for in your business. it'll change your trajectory of your business, right? Because we all know you can do 30 reach outs in a day, or you can do, 30 reach outs in a week, but 30 reach outs in a day is going to make your business go like this and not just like this, right? And I'm a big fan of host coaching and number of people in the group. They need to have, like, if they have 9 people in their group, I'm going to be like, hey, Kellyanne, I really, really want you to get the absolute best host rewards that we can possibly get you. Unfortunately, I do find that 9 people is typically not going to be amazing. One's you, one's me, one's my business page. So we really only have 6 people that are here to shop. And I do find with Facebook that usually only 30% of people shop. So if you could spend 15 minutes and do a few more invites, let me know if you want a personal message to send out to your friends, because sometimes if people aren't on Facebook, they miss the invite. And then often they're like, oh, sure, send me a message. You're like, here's a message. Message it out to your friends. They sound just like that in my head. Oh, sure. Anybody else finding anything that's working right now? Because I know Facebook's being a little wonky lately.
What is kind of your minimum for starting your parties?
I usually want to see that they've at least invited 30 or 40, but then I have I have my post my party scheduled that it just starts at night, so I can wait until there's like 12, 15 people in the group, and then I can schedule it, and it starts, the first post is like, hey, kind of welcome to the party, this is the lowdown type thing, and then the actual party will start the next day. So I have my post my party set that I can actually kind of like monitor it, and then it'll start like that night kind of thing. So, and if you don't use post my party, I encourage the same thing with your posting. Like if you're scheduling your posts, when you sit down for 15 minutes and schedule an entire day's worth of posts or an entire week's worth of posts or whatever. Don't do it like 14 different times a day, because you just lose so much momentum and time when you switch from task to task to task to task. Like you're better off to sit down and spend 15 minutes programming all your posts than you are to like program posts and then go to host coaching and then change your cover photo and then this and then that. Does anybody not use Post My Party? I'm in my third text party. That's amazing, Shannon. You're loving them, hey? And you're just doing them on Connection Point? Do you switch people over to Table, or are you not doing that?
Yeah, I have them on Table. Like I use the Table link.
Yeah.
So they're connecting on Table. I'm not really good at Table. I've got to learn that part. So I truthfully haven't been connecting with them on Table probably as much as I should have. But
Yeah.
I'm mostly connecting with them through text anyways.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just
and
that
it's
template.
nice
Yeah.
because that way you actually have their phone number, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm filtering them into my newsletter until they tell me not to.
Yeah, exactly. You can unsubscribe at any time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Because I've kind of been over Facebook and I've not really wanted to go back to it. So it's like, okay, do I pick up my live party show and so this has been a good alternative.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you're right. Like I think people are just a little sick of Facebook. It's been, and now that they have Reels on Facebook, I think it changes things too, right? It's like people used to just fall down the Reels scroll hole on Instagram, but now that it's on Facebook, people go on Facebook with the intention of doing something, and then a reel pops up, and they're like, and and they forget what they're there for.
Yeah,
Right?
I had a host that typically is like a $1,500 host for me a couple times a year, and that was my eye opener is when we did her last party, and she was at like $200, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, this is usually a really good host." And one of her customers, like one of her guests, had said, Oh, I'm so glad you didn't close the party. I'm getting notifications from 4 days ago.
Yes, it's true.
So
I get notifications all the time that are people, whatever. You got invited to this, or like, oh, Shannon posted in Team Sale, and I'm like, and then you go look at it, and it's like 5 days ago. I'm like, oh, that's super weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this is really current, and yeah, I'm really liking it way better.
And do you do it? Do you just follow the template that Andrea posted, or do you do like a 1 day thing? Do you do a 1 hour thing? Like, because I know with Project Broadcast sometimes it doesn't send immediately. So,
Yeah, I took the template that Andrea had that she gave everybody, and then I inputted exactly like it was, like the code and everything. And then once I was in there, then I changed things up. So I condensed it down. I don't want to be host coaching for 7 days beforehand.
no.
So I kind of cut some of that out, combined a little bit of it, like of some of the stuff, but condensed it. So I start host coaching on Monday. The party starts, they get a pre, so they got a, or no, they starts on Monday. They get a pre-test text Thursday night, and then they Friday, Saturday, Sunday get texts, and then I'm wrap up on Sunday, and that's it.
Yeah. Nice. And you just send a reminder text it all on Monday, or like Sunday's it? That's all.
Yeah, Sunday night, just a last
And
chance kind
then
of.
for the table part, do you run a party in there at all, or is it just a table link?
It's the link, and then I just go in there and add, like the whatever they've got now. I think I added three. Is it three things or two things? Just like the June, the summer, and I think there was
Mm-hmm.
something else. I just
Mm-hmm.
added those ahead of time, so that's in there ahead of time, and
Okay, cool.
then I don't do anything else. I have got to do better at table.
And
Like
how many
I wouldn't mind
texts
doing
do
chit
you
chat and
send
stuff. I
out?
haven't done it. So each of the girls every time, this one was 12. That's been my lowest. The first girl was like 22. The next girl was like 16 or 17.
Yeah, but
So,
like how many texts do you send to each person?
oh,
Like you said, three a
no,
day or something?
yeah, two a day, two
Two a
texts a
day.
day.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
everybody smile. I always forget to take a picture. Nobody's naked. We're good. Woohoo!
I do have to run though, so I'm gonna plug my
Okay.
two things. Is just so you know, the text party. If you're rewatching this replay, Andrew did training on May 5th. There is a YouTube video that you can go watch all of that again if you would like to. And then Stacy commented on how important host coaching is. Next Monday, June 2nd, Honey will be sharing all about host coaching, and you will see the event in Team Sale come up tomorrow after I'm done at my daughter's field trip. And all the events for June will be in there as well. So thank you
Thanks,
very much,
Jenna.
Stacey, for sharing. I really appreciate it. And
Yes, thank
I
you for joining
have to
and
run.
organizing.
You're welcome. See you guys.
Bye. Yeah, I don't, if you don't host coach, you're crazy because you did all this work to get a party. And then if you don't guide your host, then you kind of wasted it, right? Yeah. So, all right. Any questions at all? Everybody's good?
Think so.
All right. Well, thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
See some of you next week. So it's coming soon.